Hello, my name is Richard Kraneis, and this is another episode on my YouTube station, which is called Dad's Learning Videos. Today, we're going to take a look at my SharePoint Foundation 2010 site, where I'm helping some fellow PMP students learn and pass the PMP test. So let's take a look at some structured basics and some introductions. First of all, who is Richard Kraneis? I am a business analyst, project manager, and SharePoint evangelist in Chicago, Illinois, USA. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to meet with new people and to link with them on LinkedIn. And my current learning focus is passing the PMP test and learning and using Microsoft SharePoint every day. Today is a 20-minute training video. This is a bit unusual. Normally all of my training videos have been 5 minutes in length, and over the years I've done about 50 of them. This is my first estimated 20-minute training video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that it's useful. So exactly what are we learning? Well, we're learning how to use SharePoint Foundation 2010 a little bit, and how I used it to study for the PMP with some friends of mine. So, peas and carrots. This is taking a line from the movie Forrest Gump. Microsoft SharePoint and studying for the PMP go together quite nicely, just like peas and carrots. How I built this: I built a Microsoft SharePoint Foundation 2010 site for only $895 a month, and I used a cloud host. That's a different story, not for this training demo. And I decided to build a SharePoint Foundation 2010 site for some PMP student friends of mine. So this is a demo of that site. We'll talk about three major areas of functionality, but first let's take a look at basic functionality. Navigate up, top navigation, left navigation panel. So what does that look like? Let's take a look at the website. The basic navigation, what we're talking about is the navigation up button, which is right here, and also the lateral panel that's here, and also the left navigation panel, which is in this area. Returning to this, just to center myself, that's pretty much it, the Navigate Up button. Let's take a look at that a little bit more closely. The Navigate Up button is necessary because Microsoft SharePoint is so hierarchical. It has so many different levels that you will find yourself going up and down and back and forth. It's really important to learn the Navigate Up button. It's very easy. So just to show you a demonstration of that, I could go into something such as calendar, and I could look at a calendar and might get a bit confused because I'm a beginner. I just have to use the Navigate Up button, return up to PMP, and I'm centered again. I know where I began. So you go up and you go down. If you were to use this and try to go further, it would say you can't go there because this particular site has been defined for read-only permissions for people who are in my PMP group. So they can't go any higher. They can only stay in this PMP area. So that's talking a bit about the purpose of the Navigate Up button. So let's move on a bit and talk about the top navigation panel. Well, top navigation panel, you have Home and you have Blog. Clicking on Home allows you to center yourself and things look familiar. Or you can use the blog and take a look at a bunch of articles. So let's see how this looks on my website. Over here on the left panel, the home is standard. So this is pretty much in a standard SharePoint Foundation 2010 site. Blog is only there because I placed it there. It's non-standard, if you will, or custom. Let's take a look on it just to visit it briefly. You can see that I've done various blog posts for different people, for myself. There's probably half a dozen to 10 or 15 of these blog posts, and on some of the blog posts there's actually hot links. For example, here's a link taking you to a YouTube video that describes differences in PMBOK 4th and 5th edition. So that's looking at the blog. Do you feel confused? Well, just use the Navigate Up button to return one level higher, and now you're back home again. Looks familiar. So this is talking about the lateral panel at the top, the Home and Blog. That's exactly what we accomplished. So let's take a look now at the left navigation panel, which is probably the most important part of what I'm showing today, and this will help my fellow PMP students. It's also a demonstration of basic SharePoint Foundation 2010 functionality. So if we take a look at this navigation panel, I'd like to say that it's not overly customized. It's pretty much straight out of the box. Libraries, site pages, shared documents, lists, calendar, tasks, discussions, team discussions. Down here it's a little bit customized. I provided a hot link to the Project Management Institute, who is in charge of the PMP test, and I also put a hot link to Kaplan self-testing software. But most of this in this area is pretty much standard. This is the way SharePoint Foundation 2010 looks out of the box. So returning this to get some more information. It's not overly customized, like I said. It is pretty much out of the box, and there was just a little bit of customization for hot links to PMI and the Kaplan self-test. So let's start looking at some of the features that are very much standard. One of those is shared documents. Visit over here. You have shared documents, and you click on it, and it shows some documents that I've already placed here, such as a critical path exercise, which is pretty interesting in Excel format, some notes by an instructor, and if I actually wanted to open something up, I could come over to here. Don't try double clicking on it, just come over to here, click on this, and I could do a send to, where I could actually download a copy, and I would download a copy of that particular document. So this is just shared documents, and it's an area where you place documents in different formats: Excel, PowerPoint, Word, PDF. Of course, this assumes that whoever is looking at this site from wherever in the Chicagoland area or wherever, that they need to have that software. So if this was on site at a particular company, that software would be there. But here I only hope that my fellow users have Excel and PowerPoint, things of that nature. So that's shared documents. Let's return to here and talk about lists. Lists has a lot of opportunity for storing information for announcements, for the calendar, links. And also I built a custom list for my friends in Lombard, Illinois, where we are studying the PMP on Saturdays. And there's also a feature for tasks. So let's take a visit at lists and take a moment to study that. Over here, click on lists. And announcements, well, I can tell you there's no announcements right now, so I won't click on that. Calendar, yes, there's some calendar events. I put them in here. I could populate it with more. That really depends on how often I use this. And here I click on the back button just to go back. I could have used the nav up button. So links. Links is very useful, and I thought about placing hot links over here so users could find everything. But what happens is that for links you'll have many different links, and if you place them in the left navigation panel it'll get pretty crowded. So I'm encouraging my fellow students to go through lists and then links. They click on this, and what will they see? They'll see two links that I've placed here. It could just as easily be half a dozen or 20. One of them is actually a link to a YouTube video, and if they wanted it they could actually try to view the item or open it up in that fashion. But we're not going to go that far off target. So that's a use of links within lists. So let's just do a nav up, go back to links. We're already there. We'll do another navigate up, go to PMP, and this all began by going into lists and through links. So lists is pretty much the entry point. There's also another list that's in there. It's a custom list of the students that actually have read permissions for this website, but I don't want to click on it and show it to you. It pretty much looks like a common list. It feels like Excel, although it's not Excel. I don't want to reveal their emails, so I'm not going in that area. Tasks, I wish there were tasks. I could add one. We currently are considering adding various tasks to our group, but for today there are none. So returning to lists, once again, we had announcements, calendar, links, a custom list regarding our group, and tasks. So lists has a great deal of functionality within SharePoint Foundation 2010. So discussions. Well, I wish we had discussions. It's pretty much a standard feature of SharePoint Foundation 2010. And I have built a discussion area and team discussion for every one of the process groups for PMP. You could build a discussion group such as initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. So also how to learn page 43. You could click on any one of these and discussions would be there, but for now none of my fellow PMP students have contributed to discussions, but in the future I hope that they will. So discussions holds a lot of potential, but it means that people really want to collaborate within a SharePoint site. So that's discussions. Also a bit on hot links. So I mentioned hot links early at the start of this. So over here, hot links, the Project Management Institute, Kaplan Self-Test. These were hot links that I decided to put on my SharePoint Foundation 2010 site just because I thought that they were so important that they needed to be on the left side, but I quickly learned that if you put too many things on the left side, it becomes cluttered, and that's perhaps not a good idea. So, what have we learned? I hope that these various objectives have been accomplished. First of all, this has been a training video for some of my aspiring PMP student friends. Just like me, they're studying for the PMP. It's extremely difficult to do so, labor intensive, hopefully worth the journey. This has also been a demonstration of how anyone could organize a SharePoint Foundation 2010 site and use it for learning and collaboration. In this case, it's just been used for learning and studying for the PMP, the Project Manager Professional designation. Another objective is that this was just a method for showing people how to study, for the PMP, and also demonstrating, SharePoint Foundation. And finally, this has been a demonstration of my training skills and my use of SharePoint and PMP. In the future, I hope that all three will merge, that pretty much I am a SME, a subject matter expert in the area of both training and help desk support. I've done various implementations, worked with software for a couple of decades, and my new joy in terms of a software or service is Microsoft SharePoint. It's wonderful stuff. I see it as an excellent tool for collaboration, and it makes tremendous sense that it can be combined with a PMP designation and be used in the management of projects. So this was a demonstration of my skills in training Microsoft SharePoint and also my growing skills in the PMP area. Thanks for visiting. This has been another episode of Dad's Learning Videos on YouTube. I hope you had fun. Just want to say that my name is Richard Kraneis. It's a unique name, and a unique brand on the internet. I take it very seriously that whatever people find on the internet regarding my name reflects who I am and my career and where it's going. Thank you so much for visiting. I hope you had a great time. Come back soon. Thank you.